Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I am hosting a 24-hour readathon on my Patreon. I do this twice a year, once in the winter, once in the summer, and I always love it so much. We always have such a good time, so I'm super excited to just be reading for the next 24 hours. That's literally all I have to do, and I'm gonna be doing it on Patreon with the girls. Let's get into it. I have a loose TBR because we do have some prompts. This theme for this 24-hour readathon is the winter whimsy readathon. So we're going to be reading wintry stuff and whimsical stuff, if you can believe it. The first prompt is read a book with a cold setting, and on my TBR I have The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This is about two ice skaters, so clearly it will be cold because they're on the ice. This is one of my most anticipated releases of this year, so I'm really excited to hopefully read it in the next day. I do have it on audio, so I figured this would be good. When I start losing steam, I can read something that I'm really excited about that I have the audio for, so when I'm doing tasks around the house to keep myself busy and occupied, I'll have a good audiobook to listen to. The next two prompts are read a book that feels cozy and read a book with a whimsical element. Whimsical can mean fantasy, magical realism, really just up to your own interpretation, but I have the same book for these two prompts, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a paranormal romance between a vampire and a werewolf in an arranged marriage. I am already about 150 pages into this one, so I'm gonna try to finish this one up first so I can knock off two prompts just like that in the first few hours of the readathon. The next two prompts have to do with snow. I want everyone to read a book where it snows at some point during the book, and to hopefully read a book with snow on the cover. Alternatively, you can just read a book that has white on the cover because I thought that was a little too specific. And for this prompt, I picked A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I love the like sparkly snow in the background on the branches here, and then it also has like the white letters. Clearly it's gonna snow at some point during this book, and I can just stick to this TBR because it's actually really solid. I'm really excited to get into all of these. My sprints start in literally 4 minutes. So in 4 minutes, I'm gonna start my 24-hour timer. I'm so excited. Obviously, like I mentioned, the first thing I'll be getting into is Bride. I'm already 150 pages in. I'm liking it okay. I'll say I'm not like too passionate about the characters or their connection. I'm in it because I'm entertained by it and I think it's well written, but I'm not feeling like a super strong connection or passion for the story. We are following a vampire girl who was held captive by the humans for years in order to maintain the delicate alliance between the humans and the vampires, and now she's being used in a similar way in her adulthood in an arranged marriage to a were, or basically a werewolf, so they can maintain a fragile alliance between the werewolves and the vampires. So there's 3 species in this world: humans, werewolves, vampires. We're following the fantastical creatures, and for the most part, I'm liking it. I really like the whimsical elements. I like the fantasy elements. The romance is not super apparent. 150 pages in, and there's been like nothing, no romance, no cutesiness, nothing. So I'm kind of waiting for that to kick in. And Ali Hazelwood is kind of doing the things that she normally does that annoy me. The male love interest is always huge, massive. That's just like part of his personality, is like he's so huge. He's just this massive man. And that isn't really attractive to me. That's actually a little scary. And it's also a little weird because it reminds me of my brother, because my brother is huge. And I don't really want to be thinking of my brother when I'm reading a romance book. She also makes her female main characters a little bit insufferable. I'll say that I do really like Misery. Her name is Misery. I love that. She's an interesting character, but there are just some like inner monologue like jokes that she says that I'm like, that is so cringe and so Ali Hazelwood, and I don't like it. She's also kind of like nerdy, quirky girl, which all of Ali Hazelwood's female main characters are like that, and it just kind of annoys me. So I'm feeling kind of lukewarm, but let's set this 24-hour timer and get into the readathon regardless. Here we go. Ha! We are officially counting down. My 24 hours has officially begun. Hello vlog, checking in. The sun has set. We are at 22 hours, 24 minutes remaining in the readathon. And I am over halfway through Bride. I have mixed thoughts, okay? Because I was kind of like half in, half out with the writing style. I think Allie Hazelwood is just like not my favorite romance writer, but we finally are getting into the love scenes. We had our first like edging on smut scene. The werewolf was scenting the vampire, and that was a little like, oh. And so I got a little bit into it, and they definitely have more like one-on-one scenes. It just took so long to get them to build any kind of physical or emotional connection with each other. And still at this point, our vampire queen does not seem like she's really into this man in a romantic way. How in less than 200 pages are we going to build this beautiful romance that I'm supposed to buy? I don't know. I guess we will see, because I've heard, pray tell, I was talking about it on Sprints, I've heard pray tell that the smut scenes are wild and I'm not ready, and there's going to be a word that takes on a whole new meaning for me. So we'll get into this when I physically read, but for the next sprint, I'm going to start an audiobook so I can stay reading while I cook, because I am starving. It's after 6 o'clock. I literally haven't eaten. I'm a grandma. I usually like to eat before 6, and I haven't even started cooking. So I'm gonna make pasta alla vodka, literally one of my favorite things in the world, and start the audiobook for The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I did start this audiobook a little while ago. I got like 30 minutes in or something, and I just like got the flavor of it, and I really was liking it, but I'm gonna start it over because I was kind of like only half listening to it. So we're gonna start it for real. This is about a Olympic scandal between two skaters. A shocking incident at the games brings the partnership between the skaters to a sudden end, and now it's the 10-year anniversary of their final skate, and an unauthorized documentary reignites public fascination with the pair. So now we get to discover the real story of what happened 10 years ago during their final skate. What was the tea? What was the scandal with them? We get to know. It's kind of giving Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in the way that it's like a celebrity tell-all kind of vibe. I am excited to get into it and to cook my pasta. Let's go. Hello vlog, a little check-in. Oh my god, wait, where's my phone so I can show you the timer? We have 20 and a half hours remaining. I just cooked dinner, ate, chatted with the girls, told a really crazy story time of something that happened to me yesterday, and gagged the chat a little. And I also got 15% into The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This is incredible. Okay, immediately I want to abandon Bride completely because this is so good. I'm only 15% in. The first like 50 or so pages that I read before, it was like fine. It was giving like the setup. Now that we're into the character dynamics, I cannot put it down. I physically cannot stop. The audio is amazing. Johnny Weir, former figure skater, is one of the voice actors. Incredible. And it's just done well. If you like TJR, Taylor Jenkins Reid, if you like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo or Carrie Soto is Back, you will love this book. If you like the movie I, Tonya, oh my god, you're gonna die for this book. It's basically this girl and this boy, and the girl has always been a figure skater. She did like solo skating, but then her body type was not ideal for a little figure skater, so she ended up doing a doubles thing with this boy, and he didn't really have a passion for skating, but he did have a passion for this girl, okay? He was basically in love with her. They aren't the best technically, but they've risen in the ranks and like made it to nationals because of their chemistry on the ice. They're electric, they have this passion, the way they look at each other, the way they interact. It's just like what the crowd loves to watch at the Olympics. So we're following their journey, and it's kind of giving Tanya Harding in the way that the girl is getting more and more and more intense and feeling more and more and more othered by her competition. And the boy, because he's like not that invested in the skating, is kind of watching her deteriorate mentally and like fall victim to her ambition and like wanting to win so bad and crush the competition. And you identify with both of them, right? It's like you're rooting for this girl so bad, you want her to win, and then the boy, you want him to like have love and rest and not be like this crazy skater if he doesn't want to go by this crazy schedule. And I just feel for every character. I love the vibes. I love the writing style. It's written like a documentary and it feels very real. It's like, oh, so-and-so walks in the interview room and sits down and rolls their eyes and looks at the camera and is like, should we begin? You know, it's like written very dramatic and like cinematically. I love it so much. I don't want to stop reading. Hello vlog. It is a little bit later. Let's do a time check. 18 hours, 10 minutes left. A quarter of the way through the readathon. And I am 40% into the favorites. Girl, if you like drama, you're gonna love this. I mean, this is pure drama and intrigue. Character driven, emotional dynamics. Everyone is shifting, everyone is backstabbing, everyone has got something going on. It is Y2K Olympic ice skating drama down, and I am invested. This is like the best thing ever for a 24-hour readathon. I'm not tired in the slightest. All I want to do is read this book. I cannot put it down. Maybe when I get to the halfway point, I'll switch back over and then switch back just to kind of like keep it interesting for the 24 hours. But oh my God, I'm still loving it so much. We are still sprinting the house down, boots, and having a good time. So I will let you know when I have another update for you. I was giving Demogorgon just now. Like, there's no other way to react to what just happened in this book. No. 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 Oh God. You know, there's a moment at the halfway point of every book that's like, you gotta do something at the halfway point. This just stabbed me in the heart. I love a sports story. Who would have thought I would ever say it? But when it's character driven and it's about a woman's ambition, a scrappy woman who just wants it so fucking bad. This is the type of book I live for. Okay, it's giving Challengers. It's giving I, Tonya. I'm literally only halfway through and I'm like, it's gonna be a 5-star. It's gonna be a favorite. It is so good. Boba, you're bowing out of the 24-hour readathon? Girl, you're literally asleep. She's ditched me in the 24-hour readathon. Yeah, lay your little head, queen. Boba might be tapping out, but I'm really just getting started. I poured myself a coffee, as you probably saw in the B-roll. I could feel myself getting a little sleepy. It is almost midnight, 17 hours left. So I think I'm gonna try to be on sprints until 2 a.m. Take a break at 2, get a few hours of sleep, wake back up, get back into it. Hello vlog, I am 75% of the way through Bride. It's 2 in the morning and I am falling asleep. I am like 75% of the way through both of my books. I'm gonna take a little power nap for a few hours. I have 15 hours left. I'll probably try to sleep 3 hours and wake up halfway through the readathon. At the halfway point, getting 75% of the way through two 400-page books, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. Good night. See you in the morning. Good morning. Oh my god, it's so early. I have 9.5 hours remaining and I finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood as soon as I woke up. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, I liked the fantasy elements a little bit more than the actual romance plot. The connection between the characters was very much told, not shown. I felt like there was little to no development the first over half of the book, so that didn't really lend itself to feeling the connection, and once it kicked in it was just like instant, so that was kind of weird. I already mentioned the issues that I have with Ali Hazelwood's writing. All of these reveals happened, and when they were revealed it was like, oh my god, this happened. And then that was the end of the chapter, and it was supposed to be this big bombshell, but I literally saw it coming from 8 chapters beforehand. So I'm like, why are you trying to make it all dramatic? Like, I just ended up rolling my eyes. But despite that, I still liked the plot. I liked the way that the world worked. I was really intrigued by it. I kept reading because I liked the way that things were unfolding, even though I was predicting them. I did like the smut. I get what the girls were saying. I do now know the meaning of the word not, and honestly, it was fine. I feel kind of neutral on it. Aspen said that she was disgusted by it. I'm not disgusted. Do I love the idea of it? Not really. It kind of reminded me of Ice Planet Barbarians. Actually, I would say if you like Ice Planet Barbarians, you're gonna really like Bride. I think that's a if you like this book, then you'll like this one. You can pretty much rely on that. So 3.5 for my first finished book of the readathon. A little over 9 hours to go. Next up, I'm going to finish off the favorites, and I'll let you know when I do. Hello vlog, time check. 7.5 hours left. I am about to jump back on sprints for the last 7 hours of the readathon, and I also have an update. I finished the favorites. Obviously, it's gonna be 5 stars. It was so emotional. It was so dramatic. I never knew where things were going. It was like twists and turns, and I was completely intrigued the entire time. Couldn't flip pages fast enough. At some point I had to turn off the audio because I needed to read faster than the audio would go. I literally had it on the quickest speed, and I was like, no, y'all have to shut up and just let me flip because I need to know how this is gonna resolve. The last 50 pages were heart-wrenching, and I did tear up at the end. I didn't actually cry, but I was like and I had tears in my eyes. It was so good. The next book I'll be jumping into to finish out the prompts for the readathon is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a thriller about a girl who goes home with her rich boyfriend, and she's getting to know the family on this isolated, wintry, snowy estate. And she starts getting text messages from a number she doesn't recognize warning her about her new man, which she tries to ignore and she doesn't really take to heart. She thinks it's just someone trying to sabotage her, until she finds a photograph of her younger self at the estate, and she realizes that she's been there before and there might be something going on with this rich family. I'm really excited to get into it. It sounds like the wintry version of Blink Twice, and I love that movie. So I'm gonna hop on sprints, get into this book, and I will let you know when I have thoughts. Greetings. 6 hours remaining. I'm delirious. Caffeine makes me literally tweak. So I don't know. I need to eat something. I have a reading update for you though. I'm a third of the way through A Killing Cold. This reads really fast. We really haven't gotten to anything beyond what was in the synopsis, so I'm kind of ready for new content. But our main queen is basically just trying to put together the pieces of her trauma that has to do with her boyfriend. Obviously, there's something calculated going on there. There's no way that this was a chance meeting. Oh, just so happened to date and get engaged to someone connected to your childhood that you've repressed because of trauma. Like, no, I need to find out answers. So I'm ready for the answers to start kicking in. We will see when we get into it. It's just kind of giving average so far, but for now, I need food. Hello, vloggy vlog. I am over halfway through Killing Cold, or A Killing Cold, and the pieces are starting to come together. Okay, I like the way that all the puzzle pieces are coming together. It's a very intriguing mystery. Some shocking things have occurred. I'm into it. I just feel like I am not connected to any of the characters. It's just giving plot-driven rich people drama and like the nasty underground activities that rich people get up to and get away with because of their status, which is honestly kind of a little bit exhausting, especially in the context of what we've got going on in the world right now with rich people and what they are getting away with. If you know, you know. That gesture was definitely the gesture that we all thought it was, right? So there's that. And I know that this book is like trying to serve as commentary, but sometimes that's just a little exhausting to take in. Me and the dogs are just chilling here. We've got like 4.5 hours. Definitely gonna finish A Killing Cold. I might have to pull out some novellas for the end of the readathon because I don't think I'll finish another full-length novel, but I will keep you updated. Mochi and I have just been chilling. There's only 3 hours and 25 minutes left of the readathon, and I'm almost done with A Killing Cold, but it is so repetitive at this point. I feel like we keep having the same realization over and over and over and over. And it's like, yes, the book is reading pretty quickly, but I feel like I'm not garnering any new information. Like, I knew what was going on after the first couple reveals, and now I feel like it's been like 70 pages of us knowing the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just like, oh my god, it's this. Confirmed. It's this. Wait, yeah, more evidence that it's this. And it's like, it stopped being shocking after the first little piece of information that was revealed. I'm trying to see if there's gonna be any more twists at the end, but I don't know. We've got 10 minutes left of this sprint, so I can probably read another 10-15 pages, and then I'll have to wait for the next sprint to finish this up. Hello, vlog.
I feel completely and totally delirious. Completely and totally delirious. I feel like I've seen so many words on so many pages.
And that's all I can see in my brain is really like words on a page. I also need to tell you about A Killing Cold because I have thoughts, okay? I have a lot to say actually. And I think it's probably gonna be an unpopular opinion because when I was putting my star rating on Storygraph, I was looking at the average. I'm a dissenting opinion, which is shocking to me. I know I've been talking about getting a little bit pickier with my thrillers, but this is not just down to personal preference. I have technical reasons why I don't recommend this book, and I'm gonna get into it, but first a time check just to see where we're at. 2.5 hours left. Okay. We were set up to believe that there was this one outcome. Digging in. This is what happens. After I get on board with that, of course, there's a twist. But it's not a twist that's done, in my opinion, well. It's not something that was revealed. The way that the twists in this book are done are basically just like oh, never mind, like, just kidding. I felt like there needed to be some type of motivation for the twists and turns other than like, oh, actually, like, we're little investigators and we just like low-key got that wrong. Like, that's not a good enough reason for me. While things were like continually getting mistaken over and over and over and over with every twist, it just felt so lazy. Simultaneously, things were aligning like a little too conveniently. There was literally a scene where one character was like, there's no way that this just happened to go this way. And the other character responded and was like, I guess it's just fate. No, I don't want my twists in my thrillers to just be down to fate or oops, we just like got it wrong. Like, everything was just coincidental and had no solid motivation to it. And it reminded me of something that a writer I know my partner was telling me about, and it's about how to write an effective plot. The most engaging plots have points that are connected with words like but and so. Okay, so let me take you through that. Like, this happened, but this happened. So this happened. You see how like that feels like there's a flow and reasons for things to be happening? What you don't want to do, what creates a not very engaging plot, is points that are connected by and then. This happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, with no fluency to connect the points. This thriller had so much and thenning that it just felt moot in my brain. Like, I just felt like there was no point to anything happening. It all felt so arbitrary. So while like I couldn't have predicted it because I was literally led down a path, then just got told me, oh, just kidding. I don't think it was a very well written, well crafted story. I give it 2 stars. And the average rating for this is 4 stars across over 1,000 reviews on Storygraph. So I fear I'm an unpopular opinion. You can not listen to me if you want to, but then don't blame me when you get to that ending and it's like no payoff whatsoever.
That's just how I feel. Ooh, that's just how I feel.
I think the last thing I'm gonna get into in the last couple hours of my 24-hour readathon, Everybody's a Liar. Okay, Everyone's a Liar by Liv Constantine. Y'all know I love Liv Constantine. I've been getting annoyed with this thriller for the past few hours. I need a good thriller, and I trust Liv Constantine to give me that. I should be able to finish this before the end of the readathon. This is a short domestic thriller about betrayal and deceit. It says, when Julie, a successful mystery writer, suspects her husband of cheating, she turns to her best friend for advice. Her best friend suggests couples therapy, where they find themselves discussing the husband's betrayal with their new therapist. The therapist is competent and reassuring, and her advice, combined with the husband's openness to change, seems to be helping. But when murder strikes their small town, the therapist begins to worry that there's a connection between the husband and another one of her patients. The confidences they've shared with her as their therapist become key to solving the murder. And as this therapist digs deeper and deeper, she comes to believe every single person has been lying to her. I love an unethical therapist moment. As a therapist, like, it's just endlessly entertaining to see other fictional therapists just do everything wrong and to sit here and go, that would never happen, that would never happen, that would never happen. But it's very fun to see it all unfold. They do be lying to me though. Just a heads up, if you lie to your therapist, we probably know. You are allowed to lie to your therapist. It's a very, very protective thing to do. Do it if you need to, but we probably know. And it's probably not serving you as much as you think it is. Anyway, let's get into Everybody's a Liar, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking. We are in the last hour of the 24-hour readathon, and I am 50% of the way through. It's honestly vapid cheating drama. Clearly the therapy rep is not accurate at all. There are some things that are like trying to be accurate, like they're like explaining what countertransference is, which is basically when a therapist has an emotional reaction to their client, which is inappropriate because it's a professional relationship. They're supposed to be objective. It's all like, oh, you're giving advice. Literally the most unethical thing you can do as a therapist is give advice. If y'all don't know, therapists should not be giving you advice. If your therapist ever has told you, oh, you should do this, my advice is to XYZ, you gotta dump them and find a better therapist, because that is not the purpose of therapy. So it's just kind of funny and vapid and nothing. Like, I'm just kind of living for the drama. The only real critique that I have, because it's just a thriller and I don't think this is supposed to be accurate therapy rep in the slightest, the only real critique is that it's hard to tell all these women apart. They're all like upper middle class white women who are really blank and don't have much character development to them. They're so hard to tell apart. I'm like really having to look at the name on each chapter to make sure I know who is who is who is who. But other than that, it's just a good old domestic thriller time. So like 2 hours left in the audio, a little over an hour left in the readathon. I'm gonna kick up the speed on this audiobook and get her done. Hello vlog, it has officially been 24 hours since I started reading yesterday. I finished Everybody is a Liar, and truly, everybody was a liar. The twists at the end were kind of leaving me gooped and gagged for a little tiny short thriller. Liv Constantine really came through. I mean, they always come in clutch. So I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was nothing super deep. I'm honestly probably gonna forget the entire plot to this by the time my end of the year wrap up comes and I'm like doing my tier ranking. I'm thinking, what the hell was this book? But for the moment, like, it served her purpose so well. She was an entertaining, twisty little thriller, and that's exactly what I wanted for a no thoughts, head empty time to round out the readathon. We had a good little range here. I had a 5-star historical, like, literary character driven moment, a 4-star thriller, a 3.5-star fantasy romance, and a 2-star thriller. So we ran all the different genres, all the different ratings. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my experience in this 24-hour readathon. I host 2 of these a year, plus a week-long readathon and a month-long readathon over on my Patreon. If you want to join, the link is always down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And now I'm going to go to sleep. But don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!